Hello everybody, Donald Brooks here again. Doesn't it make you feel good to know that I can come into your living rooms, wherever you are every week? It makes me feel good. Before we get started on our subject for today, I must say something to my director, Ari. I'm sorry to tell you this, and I hope you will take it in the spirit as men. I think you're doing a great job, and I want to continue to pay you, but my money, as they say, right now is a little funny. So I won't be able to pay you for the next probably couple of weeks.
That's fine, no worries about that.
Oh, you're so nice. You know, I'll sign the paper, I owe you anything, but the next 2 weeks, you're working for free. You okay with that?
Not a problem.
All right, thank you, Ari. Isn't she a champion? She's a real trooper. Well, we have another subject today that I really think is timely, and we're going to call this one The Republican Party Then and Now. Let me say that again because it's very important. The Republican Party Then and Now. Got a question for you. Got two questions for you. And the answer is the same. That's the hint. Is the Republican Party bad? That's question number one. Question number two. Is the Democratic Party good? The answer to both of those questions is no. Not at all. This is going to be a little history lesson, so school is in, for those that don't know. At one point in time, the Republican Party was a champion of minorities, civil rights, all the good things in life. So you want to know what happened? Well, I'm going to tell you in a few words, not a whole lot because it'll take more time to go into the intricacies. So the first thing that happened was Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves. We all know that, unless you've been living under a rock all your life. Abraham Lincoln, who was a Republican, freed the slaves. And this caused some problems, especially for the South. Why the South? Well, of course, the South was all, they got their economy from cotton and from slave labor. So if there's not going to be slaves to pick the cotton, to do all those things, what are they going to do? They had another reason. So they were against the abolishment of slavery, and we know how that worked out. Abraham Lincoln was assassinated, but we're not going to go into all that. So, at that point in time, a little after that, maybe not even 100 years after that, we had another president. This one happened to be a Democrat. His name was Harry S. Truman. He made some inroads towards civil rights. He integrated the armed forces. Yes, he integrated his armed forces and was a proponent of civil rights and did a lot of things in the civil rights arena. This bothered a lot of Democrats. No, I didn't say Republicans, I said Democrats. It bothered a lot of Democrats, mainly the Southern Democrats, who were so appalled at what Harry S. Truman was doing, that they had their own part of the Democratic Party, and it was called the Dixiecrats, okay? Still Democrats, but Dixiecrats. So this started the uprising and the shaking up of things. So we got the Democrats who's very upset right now with civil rights. And at that point in time, the Republican Party was still the party of the minorities. The only way the black people vote was for Republicans. Why not? They were really doing things in civil rights, not the Democrats. So, let's go a little further down. What happened after that? Well, there was a man. This president happened to be my favorite president. I think I've said that before. Lyndon Baines Johnson, alias LBJ. Yep, I said it, Lyndon Johnson, who signed the Civil Rights Bill as a Democrat. And what this did is turned the Southern Democrats away from him because he was one of theirs. He was a good old boy. He was a staunch segregationist at one time, and then he saw the light. Okay, so we got Lyndon Johnson doing all these things for civil rights. So we have the Democratic Party leaving the Democratic Party, so to speak, and becoming Republicans. That's what happened. Now, it's still not that simple, because after Lyndon Johnson, it was almost easy to identify the Republicans are bad now, the Democrats are good, because all these Southerners, segregationists, went to the Republican Party, and now we have the Democratic Party of Lyndon Johnson, John F. Kennedy, etc., etc. Something else happened. Ronald Reagan. Yeah, I said it, Ronald Reagan. Depending on who you talk to, he was the best president ever or the worst ever. I won't say he was the worst, but he did. But a lot of people say he did a lot to turn back the hands of time. He even made the comment when there was rioting in the streets, when there was famine, everything was going wrong. He said, "I don't see a problem." Well, the reason he didn't see a problem is because he didn't look out the window. He just listened to his advisors. Don't think he was a bad man. He was a very misinformed man. Okay, so we got Ronald Reagan. We got Ronald Reagan after Lyndon Johnson. And then here we go again, twisting again. Right now we're defining the Republicans are bad, the Democrats are good. But along comes two Republicans, George Bush and his son, the other George Bush. I forget which one was George W. Bush, so I'm not going to say. One of them was George Bush, the other was George W. Bush. Not saying I agree with their policies, all of them, but they were good people. Now, how do you define good people? They were good-hearted people. Not talking about their policies. George Bush, the senior George Bush, made the statement when David Duke, the staunch segregationist from, I don't know, Alabama, Mississippi, somewhere, threw his support to George Bush. George Bush said he didn't want his support because there was no place in the Republican Party for a bigot. Well, we know that's not true. But for him to say that, he got my respect forever. And then his son, whose biggest mistake was he listened to the wrong people and went after, he went after Saddam Hussein when he should have been going after bin Laden. But that's another story. We're not going to get into that. Like I said, this is just a little history lesson. We're not going to get into whys and all that kind of. That's for another day. When people talk negatively about the second George Bush, they're just talking because outside of his foreign policies, there's nothing bad to say about the man. Nothing at all. If you want to see, he appointed or had more minorities and blacks hold offices than any president in modern time, even more than Barack Obama. So, this is a Republican, so it's not that easy to say all Democrats are good and all Republicans are bad. The problem, now we're up to the Republican Party of the president. For some reason, the powers that be want to keep the status quo. They want everything to be business as usual, make America greater again, let's keep us in power. I consider that the problem. Now, what do? All is not lost. All is not lost. This is entitled, I forgot what I called it. I'm entitled, the Republican Party then and now. It could have easily been entitled, A Tale of Two People. And those two people, John McCain and George Wallace. In case you're not familiar with either one of those, John McCain they both ran for president. John McCain got the Republican nomination for president, lost to Barack Obama. It was a shame that both of them had to run against each other because I liked both of them. I would have been okay if John McCain had to become president. He was a good man. When his constituents wanted him to badmouth Obama and say how terrible he was, he's a boogeyman, he's a devil, we're gonna go. John McCain said, he's a good man, We just have a difference of opinion. He got my respect when he said that. That's what John McCain said. How do we can get back to that? We can get back to civility if we elect the right people. The Republican Party can get back to civility. Now, what does George Wallace have to do with this? George Wallace was one of the biggest segregationists ever. He said segregation yesterday, segregation today, segregation tomorrow. He was staunch segregationist. He tried to keep the kids from integrating to school in Alabama. He was a bad man, I'm telling you. But guess what? Through a lot of things he had to do, he got shot, by the way. He had a change of heart. He was paralyzed. Before he died, he became an advocate of civil rights, helped some people in his county, in his state, but people of color, obtain office. So this man went from a terrible segregationist who wanted things to be the way they were to seeing the light. So the moral of the story is people can change. We can change. This country can change. Man. I'm on fire right now. I'm excited because I told a story that had a good ending. Let's make this story about America have a good ending. You know what? I hate to cut myself off, but you probably have things to do. I'm going to drink a Dos Equis. I'm going to go drink a beer. And you know what? Nobody can stop me. And I don't care about how you roll your eyes. I'm going to go